Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chronically Empowered Mom Podcast. I'm really happy to be here with you today. I have something on my head that I wasn't prepared for, but I couldn't hear any audio. And for some reason, I was able to get it working. So I'm leaving these on for a second, and then I'm going to take them off once I set all up. I hope you're well today. I hope that everything is happy for you. I hope you're in a positive mindset. Now, if you're not, that's what this episode is about. I hope to give you some hacks and some ways to get you in a positive mindset to be living a fabulous life as you well deserve, because we all have the tools and everything is possible, but you have to believe it. Okay, so I want to get these headphones off my head. There we are, and talk to you without my head being all stuffed up. So let me just run through a couple of things that happened this weekend. Okay, so this weekend was pretty busy. We had a flood, not near my house by any means, but we did have a flood in New York again. We had it in Brooklyn. I went to my in-laws' house, and they had just experienced the flood the day before, but everything was all well cleared away by the time we were going into town yesterday, which was good. We are very thankful that we live here in Wayne, New Jersey. We are in an elevation, but there is no flood zone near where I am. However, you have to go through a flood zone to get out of town or to come back home. So I was thankful that everything was all cleared and everything was good. And even if there is a flood, eventually it's going to subside, right? So remember that. Anytime something bad is happening, we're going to get through it, and we'll be on the other side soon. So everything is great. My in-laws are doing well. We were happy to spend some time with them. So I wanted to talk to you about positive mindset today, because this is really something that changed my life, and it wasn't always easy for me to be positive and to live in a happy kind of world that I live in, which is not always happy, but I choose to put myself in a positive mindset because that's what makes you happy, right? You. Nobody else has the choice but you to be happy. So always remember that. Nobody makes your happiness but you. It's your perspective on the world and everything that happens to you, the way you perceive it. Some people are going to think of it as the glass half full. Some people are more likely to perceive it as the glass half empty. And that's just a fact, but it's something that you can kind of work with. And if you understand how you are, use some tools to try to get out of that, so that you can have better relationships, you can have a better, enjoyable world, you can feel like a rock star every day of your life if you so choose. Okay, there's nobody that's holding you down and telling you that you must be unhappy for your day, for your life. I choose to be in a positive mindset because living in this body with MS, okay, it's a very unpredictable life. Some days I'm going to feel good, some days not so good. Really depends a lot on how I eat, but I do have some disability that is just with me that I can't seem to reverse, but I'm not going to say that miracles don't happen. And I'm working really hard to make that happen so I can live in this body that's mobile for as long as I can. Okay, I'm going to stand on my 2 feet as long as I can. That's what I'm destined to do and destined to believe that I can do. So this weekend was a little busy for me. Okay, I know I went around about coming back to it now, but my son had a birthday party yesterday. It was also a town community event called Wayne Day, and they have fun things for kids and have a lot of tables set up for the community, and some local businesses have tables set up. We have a lot of games, and there were bubbles and stuff, and we saw the mayor, amazing Mayor Vergano. He had some health challenges not too long ago, and he's just totally going through life like a rock star, and he's amazing. So I was really happy to have my son take his selfie whenever he sees the mayor. We've seen him go from a baby, to now an 8-year-old with Jason Momoa, a rock star hair. That's just his choice, and that's fine. So, I want to give you some positive mindset hacks today. Okay, that's what I want. I want you to leave today's podcast with a thought about how you can take control of your life and perceive it not through rose-colored glasses. It's not all sunshine and rainbows every day, but you can just choose to live your life in a more positive mindset. So one of the ways that I do that is with gratitude journaling. Okay, every morning I am grateful for something, and I choose 3 things to be grateful for, and I write them down. I also do positive affirmation before that. We'll talk about that in the next step. Okay, so the first thing is that I'm grateful every day in the morning. 3 things that I'm grateful for. So I'm just gonna randomly come off the top of my head with something that I'm grateful for. I'm just going to say now that I'm grateful for you, for this audience that makes me be the best that I can be. Okay, to come on. I wish I could take a shot of this, but I am doing this on Riverside FM. I am doing a video. It's going to go on YouTube. I've also got some outline that I set up for myself on my iPhone that's sitting here before me. I've got a Blue Yeti microphone that I used to use 9 years ago when I would podcast with Smarter Online Marketing. So I've got my whole setup, and I am grateful. I am grateful that living in this body with MS, it doesn't really matter. And it wasn't until I sat down with somebody that wanted to start his business up. Howie is really a great guy at the gym. He wanted to start up some stuff. And because I know online marketing, it's what I did, for my career, I was happy to sit down and talk with him, and it was not foreign to me. It was something that I was able to carry on a conversation about. It wasn't something I had done in years, but I was still able to know that I was in charge of my thoughts in my head, and I was able to have an intelligent conversation and give some kind of direction for somebody who really wanted to start up in this space. And I said, wait a second, I can do that. I'm grateful for that. Okay, I'm grateful for that opportunity to sit with Howie Hammer, Hammer Fitness, and have a conversation that I realized, dude, I still got it. I still know stuff about marketing and social media and how to get your brand out there and be in charge of what you do. Now I'm kind of winging it. I will say, I used to spend more time editing and being a little bit more polished about what I did. I had an intro, I had a segue, and an outro for all my videos. Now with my podcast, if you listen on my podcast, there's an episode introduction, so there's an episode number that my son records first, and then I do an intro, and then I do this episode, and then I do an outro. So that's kind of the formula, right? You've got your brackets, and then in the middle, you may have a segue. At some point, if ever, there's advertising that you'll hear on podcasts. I don't really choose to do that now. I'm just having so much fun because I'm grateful for you for even being here, and listening to what I have to say. And so that's the first thing that I'm grateful for. Okay, I don't want to get all wrapped up in my head. I want to say that I'm grateful for you. Okay, I'm grateful for this audience and for giving me the chance to speak to you. I'm grateful for that. I will say I am grateful for my setup. I'm grateful for Wi-Fi and the chance to be able to sit here remotely. I didn't have to book any time in the studio. I've got my own little studio online to set up and record this for you. And then what it does is it makes the video for me. I can put it up on YouTube. I can just do minor editing on the WAV file, which becomes the podcast. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for that. Okay, so being grateful is kind of like the big picture. It's not I'm thankful for my computer. I'm thankful for my computer to do this. Okay, I'm grateful for the big picture and what we can do together. And I really hope to hear from you. If you have any questions or any suggestions about content that you would like to have me cover, I'm totally happy. I'm totally listening. Okay, you can write me at gratitude@chronicallyempoweredmom.com. That's an email that I have set up for you. Or you can just hit me up on TikTok. Okay, I'm Vicky Sick NJ, VICKIESICNJ, or on Instagram, Vicky Sick NJ. My Facebook I kind of use for just personal stuff and my family and friends. I don't really do too much stuff on Facebook besides just kind of connect with other moms and friends that I connect with, and I'm happy to hear what they're doing and be part of that world. I am grateful. This is my number 3 grateful. I am very grateful to be able to do this stuff that I do with my son. It's so awesome, that I could just pick up, and I don't drive with my feet anymore. You would not want me driving. I'd be driving on the sidewalk or something, because this right leg is just not working, nor is the foot. Okay, drop foot, not so fun. But with hand controls and having my car modified, I'm very thankful. Had to do a lot of stuff to get that and modify my license, but I'm happy that I did that. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be very mobile beyond just walking around on crutches or going around on a scooter as I did this weekend. I'm grateful for that, and I'm very grateful that through the wonder of technology we're able to be here together today. You're listening to me, you're watching me on YouTube, however it is you chose to be here, right? You chose to listen to my podcast, and I am totally grateful for that. So with that said, I just want to let you know that every day you should just pick 3 things that you're grateful for, okay, that really make your life better, more positive. You can do it at night. I choose to do it in the morning. At night, I will say this: by the time I sit down, I am cooked. Okay, yesterday, I know that is going to totally pop on the mic, but that is exactly how I felt. I am cooked. The night comes, I'm just so busy. I'm doing all day, right? When the nighttime comes, I just want to don't. Wow, that's pretty good. I like that one. I was just out, so I just pick myself up and I walk out of the room, and they know I'm done, and that's it. But I do a lot of stuff, during my day. After this, I'm going to be doing some artificial intelligence and building this project that I'm working on. And at the end of this episode, I will tell you what I'm working on, okay? And it has to do with something that I want for myself, but also I want to use for my son. The chance to be able to build up the next generation and empower them is what I'm all about. It's not just about empowering myself to live in this body another day, but I have a son, and he didn't choose to be here, right? So I wanted him to be here, so I got to do something about it. And that means bringing him up and knowing that you should never give up, and you should always learn as much as you can and be the best that you can be. So I'm working with him on a special project. Now I'll tell you about that later, because right when I finish, I have to go and work on it, because I want to make sure that we get it done, okay? So my second tip for you is positive affirmations. I know I just did an episode on this, but this is a hack. It is not difficult to sit down, say these 2 words: I am, okay? Take a deep breath. I, and then am. When you do that, you bring in I am, and come up with an adjective that is very empowering. Okay, I am empowering. Okay, that's one thing that I am. I am not just empowered, but I am empowering, because it empowers me to empower others. I feel that we live in such an abundant world. Not we, but maybe I have such an abundant life. So much good things come to me because I ask for them, and also because I just serve. I don't want to hold this on to myself. I want to share with you. If I can make you better, man, that makes me feel better even on its own. So it's just a cycle. Okay, so the positive affirmations are going to be huge, and they sink in. Even if you don't come up with your own statement, there are positive affirmation meditations that you can listen to. I told you about this in a previous episode, but if you're just coming here now, I'm going to do it too. Kenneth Suarez on Insight Timer has great I am affirmations. And all he does is just spend about, it varies, it could be about 20, 25 minutes on saying affirmations that just sink into your brain, and you don't even have to say a word. You don't have to inhale, exhale, nothing. They are done for you. They sink in, and you believe them with every fiber of your being. Okay, I sit down, put my makeup on, just listening to all those affirmations like, what? That's right. I am enough. I am amazing. I am everything, right? I am awesome. And it just makes you feel good. It just sinks into your subconscious mind. You don't have to do anything yourself. If you're not comfortable, it feels weird, you can totally have someone feed it into your brain. Or read a book. Find something that has affirmations in it already. There are little books that you can get. I'm sure there's something at the library. I haven't done my research before this episode, but I know there has to be something. Okay, so you have a chance to go in and get this hack working for you, building up your subconscious mind to know how amazing you are. Okay, and I totally believe in you and that you can live a happy life. Okay, no matter what your challenge. Okay, so that's my second one. Okay, the first one was just journaling, second affirmations, and the third one is really limiting your negative inputs. Now, sometimes it's going to be you getting rid of somebody in your life. Okay, just deciding that that's enough, part ways, or not if it's like a partner, but even just a friend. Doesn't have to be that final sounding. That's not what I meant. But I just want to say that you can limit your negative inputs. You have the choice to limit. If you want the news on, if you want to hear about all of the stuff going on in the world, about people running for office who may or may not be voted upon, whether the public thinks that they're worthy is going to be. I'm not even going to put my political opinion in here. I don't want to talk about politics at all, like ever, even with my friends. I just don't. Okay, so you can limit your negative inputs, and that's a negative input for me because sometimes I'm talking to somebody and they decide to insert their political views. I don't really want to talk about that, so probably not going to hang out with you next time or even text you to see what's up, because if that's the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth, I don't want to hear it. So negative inputs could be that. Negative inputs could also be something that's physical, and I'll tell you an example. So this weekend, I had a birthday party that I took my son to Sunday morning, but also there was Wayne Day, which was a community event. Had to take my scooter out. I call my scoots. Had to take my scooter out of the car and traverse the whole grass-filled area with it, around people, through people. It's always fun. But when I came out, I was exhausted. The sun was shining. I wasn't used to seeing sun in quite a few days because we've had, just nothing but rain, nothing but clouds. That's something else I'm going to talk about. And I was just, a little tired last night. So I know that, and my legs hurt a little bit. Okay, I'm not one to talk about pain, but I will say this because I want you to know that these are things that we deal with. With a chronic illness like MS, you're going to deal with pain. Whether it's the way you walk, certain imbalances, just muscle fatigue, there was pain involved. So here's one thing I will say, okay? You have to limit your negative inputs, right? You have to limit doing things that cause you pain. But when it comes to physical activity, here's my stance on that. You have to go up to that line. You have to go up to that line that is where you should not go beyond. Okay? If that means that you can't return to your home in a safe way, you really have to be very careful to not go beyond your limits. Especially if it causes you pain, leads to being unsafe, whether it's yourself or the people around you, and you're in a motor vehicle. But I always like to stretch my idea of what's possible, because if I don't try, I will never know. Okay, there's no book that says, okay, Vicki, you can only go this far. You can only do 20 minutes on the elliptical trainer. I'm just giving an example. 20 minutes on the elliptical trainer, and you can only exercise for 45 minutes with heavy weights, and you shouldn't go into that. Like, there's no given, okay, as to what there is. I just have to find what my capacity is when I'm in it. So I have to go up to that line and just test it, kind of knock on the door and see if I can come out of it and be safe and be a little stronger next time. Okay, so muscles don't happen by themselves. You have to put stress on them and contract them, and the resistance, the time under tension, is most important. So unless you cause that tension, okay, it's not going to get stronger. So there's a difference between exercising to the point of pain and exercising to the point of resistance that you feel you know that you're causing enough tension to get that muscle stronger for next time. Now, I will say this, eating protein is very important too for building that muscle, because you can exercise to that point of tension and feel the burn all you want, but unless you have that protein and the right nutrients going in you to build that muscle and to assimilate into what is your body, there's not going to be any muscle, and you're not going to get any stronger. And all you're ever going to do is feel tired. Okay, so your negative inputs, not so much exercise that I'm talking about. Okay, exercise is not negative at all. Exercise is good for you. If you're not exercising, please find some time to just input some physical activity into your body. You don't want to start with physical activity like, lifting weights. Do some yoga. Do something. Get your body active, and get it done. Okay, because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to make you happy but you. Nobody's going to exercise for you but you. Just not going to happen. So we've got gratitude journaling. We have affirmations. You've got limiting your negative inputs and just putting those things that just don't work for you anymore on the side, okay? And I highly recommend that you practice mindfulness and meditation. Now, mindfulness is a funny word because when you're mindful, you're really trying to limit thoughts that are in your head so that you can be in control.
Please place me on the dock.
Sorry about that.
23.
I have a shark robot coming around and it just got stuck and it can't find the dock. Not my problem, sorry. So if you hear that in the background, we're pretty high tech here, so it would stand to reason that I have a robot interrupting in the background. Sorry. Yeah, so just, when you practice your meditation or your mindfulness, you want to really eliminate any thoughts from your head. And I get the best thoughts in my brain when I'm in the morning, like early morning before I go to the gym, between 4 and 4:30, like after I put on my face and I listen to my affirmations, that time after that, before I go to the gym, is spent on mindfulness, okay? Because I'm very busy putting my makeup on, making sure that my hands don't slip, making sure that I focus, that I can do all the stuff that I do. But when you're mindful, it's really putting less thoughts in your mind, okay? So you're controlling the thoughts that are flooding your mind. Now, I like to think of it like this. Your mind is like a puppy, right? Thoughts just always want to creep into your brain. There is just nothing that can be done about it except you, okay? You control your brain. Think of it like your brain as your CPU for your whole body. I like to think of this analogy. So it's controlling everything. And if you have a CPU that's always on, okay, your computer is always on, you never shut it off, it's not going to really work that optimally. It's probably going to heat up, overheat. You're going to have a lot of dust on it because it's just, generating a lot of magnetic energy. And you just got to shut it down every now and then. So, and that doesn't mean sleep, because in sleep, right, your mind is still active. You're dreaming. You don't realize, but your mind, yes, it's calmed down, but there are still thoughts going on in your mind, and dreams. Sometimes I get nice answers when I dream, but I want to say this. When I have my mindfulness routine in the morning, and I'm actually being mindless, and I'm thinking less, and I'm just clearing the thoughts from my mind, when I'm done with that, all of a sudden the thoughts flood into my mind. If I don't have my journal in front of me to just capture those thoughts, I will lose them, okay? And one of the things I really love to do is I love to have a journal that I list my processes. Like the other day I was listing my flow of how I use my artificial intelligence to generate generate images for this project that I'm working on. I'm gonna tell you about it. I will to generate images and how those images happen, because I do it remotely, right? I do it on my iPhone. I do it on my computer. I'll do it on my iPad. How do I get all of those photos in one repository so that I can capture them when I need to put them where they belong? So I had to make a nice flow chart. So I have a flow chart in my journal. I've got processes in my journal. It's kind of like the big picture project management stuff that I like to think of that help me do what I do efficiently. Not just ideas, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to send this thing back to Amazon. I've got to create these things, whatever they are. There'll never be an end to to-dos. But if you refine your processes, that's where the money's at. Okay, so that's the mindfulness that allows me to do that. If I always had thoughts running around in my brain and I never had time to sit and wait until the floodgates opened after I was finished with that, I'd never capture those thoughts. They'd just be hanging on like a dangling participle to some other thought that I had in my brain, and not really a good thought. Okay, so it's good to practice that mindfulness and put you in a positive mind frame, because you know that you have these amazing, awesome thoughts that come to you. I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't have this podcast and even know how to do this that I'm doing right now that allows you to hear me and even see me on YouTube. Wouldn't allow you to get in touch with me if I didn't have that time. So your positive mindset has a lot to do with how clear it is before you even try to plant anything in there. Okay, so one thing also that I want you to see, and it's right behind me, and if it's not seeing me, that is the way that you're actually listening to me, is my vision board behind me. So number 5 is to visualize the positive outcomes. Okay, if you put yourself in a positive mindset by thinking of the positive things that are going to come out of what you're doing, don't get lost in the do. Okay, get lost in the outcome and think of the great things that are going to come to you because of what you're doing. Okay, you visualize a positive scenario. So something that you have, like a challenge that you build for yourself or a goal. So let me turn around. I'm going to take this off the wall, and I hope it comes with me. Ooh, I didn't break anything. What do you know? Ta-da! So this is my vision board. Okay, and there's my podcast right there. I put this up, and I've been doing it every Friday, 4 a.m., going live. Going live on the podcast platforms. I'm not going live now. So in my vision board, and I highly encourage you to create some kind of vision board. And even if you don't want to be artistic and you don't want to have to learn how to do artificial intelligence to create images of what you would like, just get pictures from the internet and just capture them and put them up. I cut them all out and I put them up on this board, and things are coming true. Okay, this was the first one that came true. This is me when I was doing my podcast 9 years ago with my son on my chest, and I used to have him with me when I was doing my podcast to the end, up until the end. When I took it down, I wanted to have a podcast again someday, and I didn't realize how fast it would happen. Okay, and that came true first. I am building up like my idol Corey Everson right there. We've got a lot of things on here. I don't need to talk about them right now, but this is very special to me. This is my group of ladies from the gym, Planet Fitness, that I started when I really wanted to be part of something special and to have a group that motivated each other at the gym in my environment. Okay, so the ladies who lift, I've done posts on my blog, I've done stuff about it in my podcast before, is really a positive environment that puts me in a positive mindset. So you can connect with people who are like you, that really puts you in that mind frame. Okay, don't hang with people that are negative and just bring you down, because it's not going to do anything but keep you there. So I'm going to give you a couple more things. Reframing your negative thoughts is very important. Okay, instead of saying like, oh, I can't do this, just say, you know, how can I make this work? Okay, I'll tell you what I've been working on right now, because I'm getting ready to end my podcast soon. But before we go, I want to give you this exciting project that I'm working on. So I have a link in the bottom of this episode for a course that I came upon, and I haven't taken a course in a while. Okay, I haven't taken a course since I really haven't been looking to start a business or anything like that, or even get better at anything. I wanted to learn how to build these coloring books on Amazon. So I wrote my book, right? I wrote a gratitude journal. It was a low content book, but it became medium content when I started to add things like quotes every day and some specific wordage in there. There was more to do than just a blank line journal, okay? And I also have on my board that I want to be an Amazon bestseller again, okay? So with that said, I just wanted to have something that I could work on with my son. I didn't want to just do a project for myself. You know, I did that. I wrote a book on smartphone photography and became a bestseller, and it was awesome. You know, I did that, okay? But this time around, I wanted to do something with my son that he would be interested in. It's not that he's interested in coloring. This kid is so high tech because I want him to do everything that I do with me. Okay, so he knows how to record in Audacity, which is the recording program that I use when I'm recording intros and editing my podcasts. Right now I'm using Riverside FM to do my podcast and my videos, but Audacity is where you can do all of that refining. So he knows how to do that, and he knows how to set up mirroring and just do general stuff on the phone, and he's really great with that. So I knew he would really like building some images. So I wanted to learn more about how to use artificial intelligence. So I took this course, and I'm still kind of going through it now, but it's just really something that I love. Found that I love, and he really loves it too. He's starting to build some images that I would never think of, because really cars are not a huge love of mine. I know a lot about cars now because of my son, but it's not my first love, right? So I wanted to learn how to design coloring books for kids, and they're supposed to be low content. You should just have a prompt, and you kind of, it's like programming, okay? So you have a prompt, and you have to program it a certain way, tell it how much difference you want it to, or chaos that you wanted to design it. You get 4 choices of an image, then you can remaster that based on an additional couple of words. The way that you word things depends on you know, the image that you're going to get. So like, if for instance I'm designing a ladybug image, it will kind of focus on the lady and then give you like a lady with wings. It's just, you know, it's a little fuzzy. I'm still learning how to do the Midjourney prompts, but Sean has taken a real interest in it, and he's having a ball. He's having a real ball. He's making vector images from the PNG files that are being generated, and he's uploading them to Canva, where we are creating our masterpiece, which is going to be uploaded to Amazon KDP and self-published. Okay, so Sean is going to have his whole line of books that he's going to create, and it's going to be his pen name. Right now it's Wonderwrite, but we'll see what happens when we get to the coloring book upload. But it's really exciting. You know, I wanted to make sure that I had something for him to work on with me, because a lot of times I can't really get up and be as mobile as I would like. Now, you know, on the computer I can pretty much do it. I just have to remember to not sit for very long because I will get stiff. I've been here for 34 minutes, 38, 58, 59, 35 minutes. So I'm going to have to get up and move around a bit because I'm going to get a little stiff in the legs. But I hope that, this podcast gave you some insight into how you can be positive, okay? I can sit here all day and just cry about my MS and, what I used to be, and, I wish I could do that again, and, but I'm doing some pretty amazing stuff, right? I've got you here, which I'm so grateful for. I've got all my high-tech equipment around. I didn't even need to go out to a studio. Oh my God, I am so grateful for this, okay? And even though I'm in my dining room and I've got all my stuff all over the dining room table, I can clean it off and just have another day. So I hope this was an interesting episode for you. I really didn't know how I was going to do it. I was speaking to a friend of mine at the gym today. His name is Alan. Alan, big shout out to you, Planet Fitness. And he was saying that, he was really inspired to know that he didn't have to have like not a transcript. He didn't have to have I guess it's a prompt, like for his podcast. He just had to have an outline. It's what I have here. Okay, I'm going to show you what I have. So I made an outline for myself and I have it on my iPhone. Okay, and I'm just kind of scrolling through it. I'm not really reading it. I'm sure you could tell. I forget what I want to say sometimes, or I go off on a tangent. But you just have to have an outline, and you can have ChatGPT help you with that outline. I definitely recommend do not have ChatGPT write you a blank transcript that you have to read from. Nobody's going to listen, okay? Just like nobody's going to listen to AI reading to you, okay? Imagine if I said Alexa loud, she would start talking. So imagine if we had Alexa talking to us on a podcast. Nobody'd listen, right? So just be real, just say what it is that you have to say from the heart. And that's how you can have a positive mindset. Just go out there and do it. And, if you have any questions about how to do stuff, you want to know a little bit more about how to do podcasts, or you want to know about how to just stay positive, live the life that you imagined, and just be the best version of yourself every day, you just know where I am. Okay, so glad to be able to connect with you today, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for listening.